what's new in JIRA 6.2? So from JIRA 6.1 to 6.2, Alacin has fixed and implemented more than 200 issues. Security advisories was also issued on February 26, which notes that users should upgrade from versions 4.4x all the way until 6.13. Our webinar today will cover some of the important features that have been released in version 6.2. We will first go through these features in the slides before we dig into with the demo. So here we go. So in JIRA 6.2, one of the important functionalities is the development panel. And to use this development panel, here is the version matrix that you should have with you. As you can see here, we should, to use this new development panel, you need JIRA 6.2 plus, Stash 2.10 plus, Fisheye Crucible 3.3 plus, Bamboo 5.4 plus, and the current version of Bitbucket. Okay. So the development panel, which shows on every issue, helps you to evaluate the development status of an issue at a glance. If you need to investigate further, each item can be clicked to display more details or to bring us to the development tool itself. Okay. Code integration. This is the branches panel expanded. So from the previous slide, if you click the branches link, this is the branches panel expanded. In this screenshot, users of JIRA will be able to view branches associated to the JIRA issue. So for example, TIS64 is associated to 3 different branches. And you can also see extra information like has this branch been merged back to the branch that was branched out for, or whether the merge has been declined. In JIRA 6.2, the work to all the text lovers out there, the text way has to create and edit your workflow is now gone. The workflow diagram is now more intuitive and allow users to do what you have done, what you can do with the text method of editing and creating workflows. Statuses. The icons that were previously used to denote statuses were only useful when there were a handful of statuses in your JIRA instance. Imagine if you have, you use about 20 statuses icons, and some of them don't really tell you what the status of the issue is. So in JIRA 6.2 onwards, you'll now see the statuses as text. Another feature in JIRA 6.2 is the auditing. Have you ever realized that administration changes were done, but you could have swore that you did not do it? Now you are able to track who did what and when by turning on the auditing functionality. No more witch hunting. You can catch them. And more, some of the other important features in JIRA 6.2 include the backing up and the recovering of indexes, where you can take a snapshot of your current search index and back it up and restore it. You can re-index individual projects, and the support team officially supports, JIRA officially supports Internet Explorer 11. So let us now dive a little bit deeper into Git Essentials. So Git Essentials is a package of a number of products provided by Alacin, namely JIRA, JIRA Agile, Stash or Bitbucket, and Bamboo. The features include the whole development process from tracking knowledge, Confluence, which we are not presenting in this demo, tracking issues, which you track in JIRA and JIRA Agile, SCM, source code management, which we will be covering under Stash and or Bitbucket, code review, which we can also do in Stash, and continuous integration, which is Bamboo. Git Essentials, let's take a look at the 4 points for Git Essentials. There are many instances where I personally found myself navigating through the different applications just to find the right information, status, or progress that has been done in a particular issue. So Git Essential provides you this information to help you tackle your roadblock or give you a quick insight into this progress that you want to know of. Okay, so next, getting Git right. Git being an open source tool does not force you to conform to conventions like other closed source platforms. Git Essentials provide you with the tools you need to make sure that you are doing your work instead of fussing about how you are going to do it. Next item, implementing structured workflows. Again, Git being birthed from an open source has no fixed workflow, right? Git Essential provides you with the tools that your team can use to implement the workflow that works for your team. And basically no one team will be bound to how the app wants you to do things, but instead you choose how you want to do things. And the last point, automating manual tasks. Automating manual tasks includes eliminating the tedious work of starting certain process like pull requests or what's it called, starting the build process. Okay, with this done automatically, your users will save their time and be able to continue developing their code, spending more time in their code. So it's now the demo time. Let's dive into JIRA 6.2 and the Git Essentials demo. So here is my JIRA, and JIRA's Bamboo and Stash. So at the moment I'm running JIRA 6.2 with Bamboo 5.42 and Stash 2.11.3. Okay, so let's take a look at one of the issues that I've already created earlier, and let's take a look at the development panel, which is integral to this Git Essentials. So in the Git development panel will normally be on the right side, and you will see if you have integrated the 3 applications together using application links, information that you pass or you enter into the applications will show up in this panel. So let's take a look at the first item. Okay, so Web 1 is the issue key, has one branch, and in the repository, in the Stash repository webinar, where the branch name is Web 1, bugfix/web1-test1. The status, the pull request status is merged, and and the action is that we can create another pull request if we want. Okay. Next is the commits panel. So again, for the issue key web 1, there are 4 unique commits made to this issue. So let's take a look at, for example, this commit. Okay, the commit message that is made for EE02A8E is web 1, which is the issue key, and testing again. Okay, along with, in this row, I can see who made the commit, the display name for this user's administrator, the message, the date where the commit is made, and what files have been made in this commit. So let's take a look. when I click that one file link, it shows me that I modified the file called web1.txt. When I've opened this panel, drop down, I can actually open this in a new tab if needed, which brings me to my stash. Okay, in my stash, I can see the exact commit, okay, at the exact time, the issue key related to the commit, the branch where this commit is made, and we can see what was changed during the stash, in the commit made to Git. Okay, so let's go back to the panel. So let's take a look at another commit for the A7869. The commit message is, why did I commit to test1 instead of web1? That's the message. And I made changes to two files. It recognizes it as two files. I added and deleted. I deleted test1 and added web1.txt. Okay, so this is the commits panel. Now let's move on to the pull request panel. So there are two pull requests. Whoops, sorry, I accidentally clicked it. There are two. There are two pull requests for web1. Okay, the ID of it notes down the ID, the title of the pull request in stash, the status of the pull request, the author. When I hover over the icon, it shows administrator, and when I hover over the reviewer of the pull request, it shows the username, which is user1. So I think it's showing the same icon, although there are two different users. This is the administrator user, this is the user1 user, and when the pull request was last used. So let's take a look again. By clicking, we can open it in a new tab. Just clicking it normally will open it in the same window. So I'm going to open it in a new tab, and it brings us to the pull request in stash, where we have the ID, what's the status, where it has been merged, where the source is, and where the branch is has merged. Okay, we have the details of the pull request, the activity that has been done on the pull request, how many issues this pull request is linked to, and who has reviewed the pull request. Right? In the pull request, you can also see the diffs of the commits in the pull request, and we can also see the commits that are related to pull requests, which is commit 4D8, 7869, and 1E6C, 5C. Okay? Back to JIRA. So, and the very last panel that the JIRA development panel gives you is the build panel. Okay, so in the build panel, it shows me that two builds are related to this issue called web-1, right? So under the planned webinar, the master branch, the master build, the build number 2 passed under 1 second and was completed 21 hours ago. Webinar under the bug fix web1-1 test branch, build number 2 passed under 1 second and was completed a couple weeks back. So again, the panel provides you the link to the build itself. I'm again opening it in a new tab, and in the Bamboo build, let's see, build number 2, which is what we're interested in. will show you the build summary, the author of the commits that is related to, and the JIRA issues that are related to this particular build. Okay, so you've basically seen all the panels now. So let's try to create one issue. So for example, let's create an issue. I'll assign it to myself. Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what the issue is at the moment. I'm just assigning it to myself. Okay. So normally this is the very simple basic flow that I'm going to explain in this demo. Okay. An issue gets assigned to a developer. The developer then looks at the issue. He determines that, okay, I need to do a source code change to fix this. So what the developer will do is he will click the create branch link. Okay, which then brings you to Stash, where you can branch the code, for development. Okay, this will be a bug fix, the branch type called bug fix from the repository, and I want to branch from the developer, and the branch name will be automatically, it will try to give you a proper branch name. So it will give you Web4 and it will give you Webinar 1 based on the issue. Okay, and the summary at the bottom here is from develop, your branch out bug fix, Web4, Webinar 1. So let's go ahead and create the branch. So in my branch, I can see in Stash, I can see that this is the branch, bug fix Web4, Webinar-1, and let's go ahead and work on this issue. So I will now open my Git client. I will fetch remotes from Stash. I will then double-click the branch that I can see in my remote here to check out the branch, to clone the branch to my local repository. Okay. So once that's done, I will automatically be changed to the branch that I just cloned. Okay, so let's look for the source code. Okay, so for Web4, I know this is how I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to fix Web4. I'm just going to create a new file called Web4. And I'm going to say that this code fixes the issue in Web-4. Okay. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to use again my Git client to stage my code and to commit my code locally. And the important thing to note is that to associate a commit in Git with the JIRA issue, you need to put the issue key in the commit message. So I put Web-4, and I'm going to say that this is the fix. Okay, and okay, I'm now going to push the local change. So I'm happy with the fix that I've just made. Okay, and I'm going to push the changes in my local copy back to Stash. Okay, so let's take a look at the JIRA issue now. So let's take a look at, I'm going to refresh my dashboard. Okay, and I'm going to see the development panel here. So the development panel now shows me that I have two branches. I have one branch and one commit that has been done to this issue. So let's take a look. So the branch panel shows me that I just branched out. Okay, no pull request has been made yet. And I have it that I've committed towards this issue, which we have done a minute ago by myself, commit ID, and let's take a look at the file that we have just made. So again, I'm opening this web4.txt in a new tab, and it will show me what I've done. Okay, I've added a new line. Added a file with the line here. Let's take a look. Okay, so what I've just done, if I've just refreshed the web4 issue, and you can see that the build, something has appeared here. All right, the build panel has detected that a build has been executed. How did this happen? This happened in the background because I've set up Bamboo to detect new branches that have been created in the source code repository. Okay, so let's take a look. In the plan webinar, under the branch bug fix webinar 4, webinar, and webinar 1, it has executed the build number 2. It passed under 1 second a minute ago. Okay, so to complete the process, now I want to merge, so my flow now consists of merging the code back to the develop branch where I branched out from. So I click the branch to bring up the branch panel, create pull request, okay, and I will be brought to stash to merge from bug fix to develop. Okay, you will then be asked for a title and a reviewer. Okay, and in this case I'm going to use user 1 as the reviewer. Okay, so I'm going to submit this pull request. Okay, let me just pull down my go-to webinar panel. Okay, so ID 4 is open, the source and the target branch, and I can directly merge it, or I can wait for user 1 to come and review the code. Okay, so let's go to Dash. I'm going to log out in as user 1. Okay. So in user 1, as user 1, after logging in, you will see a notification here at the top right corner where it says 1 because I have 1 action. My pull request is administrator is asking me to review this pull request. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to take a look, as user 1, I'm going to take a look at the diff. I'm going to say that I can also comment on it on the line, on the code itself, on the diff itself, and say right, really, this fixes the issue. You know, if we can say anything. This is how collaboration is done in Stash. Okay, user 1 can come in and say, really, you can question what the other user has done, right? And the other user can then come back in and reply to this comment and say, yes, this really fixes the issue. Okay, before we go on any further, let's again take a look at the issue itself. Okay, and when we look at the development panel, we have a new item which just popped up, which is the pull request, which says 1 open. Okay, so under the pull request, the status is open, the author and the reviewer and updated last 2 minutes ago. Okay. So as we go along, the administrator can continue to view, the user can continue to view the progress of the issue using these 4 different items here. Okay, you can find out the status, what the status of the branch is, whether it has been merged back to the parent branch, how many commits have been made to this issue, how many pull requests that are open, and how many builds have been executed based on the commits that have been committed to the source code management tool. Okay, so back to stash. Okay, as user 1, I'm going to approve. I'm going to click approve, and you're going to see the green tick appear on the user who approved the pull request. Again, let's go back to JIRA. We're going to refresh the page, and I'm going to click on the pull request panel, and you're going to see the same information again in JIRA, right? User 1 has approved because of the green tick that you see here, the pull request. And okay, so at the moment, user 1 or the administrator can then merge the code from the source branch to the target branch, which I'm going to do now. Okay. So once it's been merged, you will see that the activity on the stash itself is merged. But if I don't want to go to stash, if I'm in JIRA itself, I can see that the pull request has been merged and the branch has been merged back, Okay. So this concludes the basic Git workflow that I've just demoed here. So let's go back to the slides, and we'll take a look at the question and answers that that has been raised from the panels, from the GoToMeeting panel. So before we do that, a quick summary. Okay, Git Essentials is not a product, not a single product that that Atlassian provides, but a multitude for a couple of different products that help you achieve your Zen in development. So thank you for listening to the demo, and we'll now take questions, and we'll now go through the question and answers. And let's see, Jobin, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you all right.
All right, so you've been curating the Q&As. Do we have any question and answers that you would like to go through?
Well, one of the questions which came up is how does JIRA detect the branches? So is there any naming pattern that I need to use, or?
All right, okay. So good question. JIRA detects, the development panel detects the branch name if the issue key is used in the branch name. So as you can, as I demoed just now, when I used the link to create a branch, JIRA automatically, Stash automatically tries to define the branch name for me because it knows that I clicked the link that creates branch from the JIRA issue itself. Okay. And next question, in the next question panel is another question is, can you show us the JIRA workflow? Okay, sure, no problems. Let's quickly swap back to my Chrome. So I'm using the very basic JIRA workflow that I just created a new JIRA project in JIRA project, and I just used one of the default workflows here. So it is a very basic one to open, resolve, in progress, close, and reopen. Okay, I hope that answers the question, Francisco. Uh, Under the next question is under the development panel, if we use Jenkins, would the build option show up there? I'm not sure of that question. Jobin, do you have an answer to that question?
So if you're using the Jenkins plugin, it will be a different panel here. It won't be under the builds. So there's a separate panel provided by Jenkins plugin. So it will come underneath that. And it won't appear on the development area on the right-hand side.
Okay.
So this is only for the close integration for Bamboo to JIRA, the builds panel and the development panel. So if you're going for Jenkins, it's going to be a separate tab.
Okay. So in addition to that answer, you will also notice that previously, before JIRA 6.2, you have this source tab and this build issue tab panel. So from what I understand from my interaction with the Alcyon team is that these two panels will be depreciated as time goes. All right, as these two panels they are basically the legacy functionality. And I believe if you're using Jenkins, it will come as a different panel, different issue tab panel here. So as this development panel on the right side is more targeted to Alcyon tools, the question I believe is no, you won't see the Jenkins Jenkins information appear here, right? Can the development panel info be hidden from non-developers for a JIRA project? Yes. So you need a certain permission. You need to have the permission in JIRA to be able to view this information. Jobin, out of head, can you remember what this permission is? It's the same as viewing this particular builds issue tab panel.
That is right, the view version control permission, that is the same.
Yep, so if you have that permission, then you will be able to see this development panel. Okay. I have another question that was just raised. Okay, will Crucible reviews be integrated with the development panel? Yes, Crucible reviews and fisheye commits are also available in this panel. At the moment, we did not demo. I mean, I just did not demo this during this demo. Okay. And next question, which was just raised, is it possible to restrict who has access to merge a branch and what location that can be merged into, such as restricting access to the master, but all devs can merge to development? Yes. The answer is yes. In Stash, you basically have 4 different levels of permission. Okay, the highest level is basically logging into Stash. Okay, the next level is the project level permission. Okay, you can restrict who has access to the project. The next is the repository permission, who can access the repository itself. And last but not least is the branch level permission. So with this 4 level of permission, you can, especially, the permission that you're looking for is the branch level permission. Okay, so you restrict certain people. I think the concept is called gatekeepers. You assign certain users to a gatekeeper group, and this group, only users in this group have permission to have write permission to the master branch. All right, and the other users have permissions to read and write to the other dev branches or other branches that are spawned off from those branches. Okay.
Tim,
So
do you quickly want to show the permissions on Stash?
All right. Okay. So so let's take a look at Stash. Okay, let me just move the panel around a bit. The question is panel. So under the webinar project, I have the webinar repository. sorry. So the webinar project, under the settings, you can set permissions, all right? User or group can write or read, okay? So under the repository again, under the settings, let's see, where is the permissions?
It goes under
permissions?
the repository, yeah.
Yeah. So again, same thing, user, write or read, group, write or read, and branch, write or read again here, okay? So I hope that answers the question. So there's another question that was just raised. Is there a report that can be generated for JIRA for the development activities for a release? Let's see, how do I? Development activities for release. So I'm not sure what kind of report that you're looking for, but if we look at the issue, the issue itself will show you under the activity tab. It will show you the activity of the issue, all right? But if you take a look at the activity stream of the particular project, if you have application linked all the apps properly, you would be able to see that this happened from Bamboo. Okay, this also happened from Bamboo, and this also happened from Bamboo. I'm not sure why I don't see the stash, because I believe the stash would be here. As to generate a report, an actual report from this issue itself, no, I don't think that functionality is available at the moment.
If you're looking at creating reports from the commits, you probably will have to look at Fisheye, because Fisheye has a pretty good reporting feature. We don't have that in Stash yet.
Okay. So I think I've covered most of the all of the questions that have been asked in the Q&A panel. Are there any more that you guys want to ask now before we end the session? Okay. Yep. I just saw another question that just popped in. Can a closed issue have a new branch created from the development panel? Okay, I believe at the moment you can, yes. Okay, can a JIRA workflow be enforced on that? I don't know the answer to the question. I will research the answer for this question and
we should be able to do that, Tim. Yes, we should be able to do that. So you can have workflow permissions based on the status. So when you go to the closed status, you can have a workflow property which prevents the developer rights on the edit and the view workflow operations on that particular issue. So once you do that, obviously it takes away the create branch permission.
Okay. So I hope that answers that question. Again, last call for any other questions that you would like to ask before we end this webinar. We'll wait for a couple of seconds for it to jump in. So, okay, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for attending this webinar, and we will make the recording for the webinar available shortly. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.